So your latest book, Sandcastle Kings, was designed by Kanye, the cover. So what was the idea and the vision of having him create it for you and working with him and kind of blending, the mainstream culture along with what you're providing from a Christian standpoint?
Yeah, the book is called Sandcastle Kings, and it's all based out of Luke chapter 7, and there's 4 beautiful stories in Luke chapter 7 that I think kind of each play as a broad stroke of what the common sandcastles are that we tend to build in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that society right now, if we're not careful, what we tend to do is we tend to build sandcastles and call ourselves kings, but we all know that at some point the tide's going to rise, or the rain's going to fall, or a football's going to be thrown, or a 2-year-old's going to step, and the sandcastle's going to collapse. And Jesus told a story about a wise man and a foolish man. One built his house on a rock, and the other man built his house on the sand. The foolish man did. And
Right.
when the storm came, the wise man's house stood strong, and the foolish man's house fell apart. And I think if there's something we can observe from the story, is that both the wise man and the foolish man both had to face the storm. And wisdom doesn't prevent storms. Money doesn't prevent storms. Being a Christian doesn't always prevent storms. We can't always prevent storms, but we can prepare for them by making sure that we've got a good foundation. And
Mm-hmm.
I think lots of times the things that we build our life on, in and of themselves, they seem like good things, but a good thing becomes a bad thing when we make it the foundational thing.
Right.
So really the book tries to really, unveil, reveal that Jesus is the only thing really worth building your life on. And the 4 common castles that we use from Luke 7 is the sandcastle of self. If I put my trust in myself, then I'm going to be okay. But we all lie to ourselves. We all fail ourselves. The second sandcastle is trust in other people, whether it's your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, dad, kids, boss, pastor. We tend to think that people can somehow complete us or satisfy us, but people really can't complete us. They only complement us. Only Jesus satisfies. Only Jesus completes. And the third common castle is a sandcastle of religion. And
Right.
a lot of us fall into that at times where we go, man, if I do enough good things, God will owe me. And if I do enough bad things, will God reject me? And the reality of it is that Jesus didn't come to, institute a religion. He came to establish a relationship. A relationship is one where we have to trust Him. And we have to trust Him in the good, the bad, and even the ugly. And so I just think a lot of people end up building that sandcastle, and there's different parts of our life where we do that. And then the 4th common castle is the sandcastle of the world, which would be
Mm-hmm.
flesh, immediate gratification, and wanting things right now. And sometimes the church just tends to kind of talk about just that one sandcastle, but I think the 3 before it are just as detrimental.
Right. Right.
They all lead to a house collapsing. They all lead to destruction. And so I think that the content of the book is what I believe to be life-changing, greatest message in the world, which is the gospel. It's not my message, it's Christ's message, and we're just carriers of it. But because the content, I think, is so rich, I wanted to make sure that the cover had some sort of, pull-in, or I want it to be great. And I just felt like the church, throughout history, has always called upon some of the world's greatest artists in their time period, whether they were believers, non-believers, whether they always agree with their messaging or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like in 2016, Kanye, whether you like him, love him, hate him, it wasn't about endorsing his lifestyle. It's about saying that he's
Right.
a very, very influential artist, and he actually happens to be someone who does love Jesus. And I just said, man, would you design the cover of the book? And so I always kind of say, the cover's really cool, but the content is, it's life-changing. And
Right.
I want to make a cover that, people that would maybe never consider reading a book about Jesus, maybe they would because Kanye had done the artwork for the book. And so,
Oh, right. Yeah.
I just thought it was a fun idea, and a whole lot of people, I think there's a lot of people that have picked it up because of that. And so we've gotten really great reports and great testimonies, and I think that Jesus is the most compelling message in the world, and He changes us from the inside out. And I just think all this stuff as we're talking and whatnot, I think that's my message. I don't know, can't speak for other people, and I can't speak for
Right.
other people's intentions, or really even actions. I can speak for my own, and I can speak for I think what Jesus wants to do in people's life. And I just want to be a person who's wants to stay in the conversation with people, and keep giving them Jesus.
Right. No, that's incredible. And I think you said it was the fourth point of the book, that kind of navigating yourself out into the world. What would be your best advice for somebody who's in the world, or somebody that has some sort of status but is looking to follow Jesus, but is constantly being bombarded by what's around them and the mainstream, and just all the pitfalls that can come with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that following Jesus, there's a cost for sure. You know what I mean?
Right.
It tells a story about who builds a building without first counting the cost, and Christ says, pick up your cross and follow me. And I think sometimes we get too fixated on what we have to let go, what we have to quit, or what we have to stop, or what temptation is ruling us. I think that we should get more focused on what it is that we're picking up in Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So that which I pick up dictates what I let go of. And so as I pick up my cross every day to say I'm going to follow Jesus today, that's going to essentially force me. I hate using that word, but essentially, lead me to letting go of some other things. I just think people that maybe have status in the world, or however you phrased your question, I actually think it's the same for everybody.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to be following Jesus, you have to live your life not according to convenience, but according to conviction. And it's a still small voice that leads us. His word illuminates our path, and we have to decide who we want to be. And I think that Christ has called us to, impact culture, but it's really hard to impact something if you don't actually carry light and if you don't actually carry salt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Conforming to this world is obviously a temptation for so many people, but the way that we really transform this world according to God's word is when we offer our bodies each day as living sacrifices. So I think it takes us every day waking up and saying, Jesus, I want to follow you. Lord, speak to me. Lord,
Mm-hmm.
help me. Lord, guide me. I need you today. And I don't think we have to be afraid of the world by any means. I think that we've got the best news in the world, and the world's actually really hungry for it and really thirsty for it. We just need messengers that understand it's not about them, it's actually about the message. And I think that's, for me, more and more what I've realized, is that I'm not extra special or anything different, and I don't really have anything even all that new to say. I'm kind of saying something that's really, really old.
Right.
But I think we can't be afraid to engage the world, and we can't be afraid to love on people that are, on the journey. And that's how I typically see people. I don't think people are projects. A project has a start date and a finish date. People are eternal beings. And so
That's an excellent point.
When I see people, it's like, I don't know, I think everyone's on the journey. You know what I mean? And what part of their journey do I get to come and be a part of? Everyone wants to be in Acts chapter 9, light from heaven, Paul falling off the horse, and voice from heaven speaking to Paul that he's blinded. But very few people, want to be Stephen, who was martyred by Paul. But Stephen probably played a massive, massive role in his conversion. He might have been the first seed that was planted that day as Paul, then known as Saul, was in the Sanhedrin listening as Stephen, with fire in his bones, spoke of the true gospel right there to the religious right in the Sanhedrin. Paul was so inflamed that he held the coats of those men that stoned him. But we oftentimes go, no one wants to be Stephen, get martyred, and nobody wants to be, whatever other disciple was there that we never get to hear their names, that was watering a seed and going, man, hey, Saul, maybe these guys have got something that we're missing. We all want to be there after Acts chapter 9, after the full conversion. And, now he is the greatest apostle of all time. And I just think, I want to be a person that says, wow, someone's in the journey. Let me just play my part, which is to love them, which is to give truth to them. I don't have to give truth to them through an interview, you know what I mean, to the whole world. I can give it in private places, out of relationship. Nobody at all cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And
Nice.
I just refuse to speak about people's personal life and give advice or give thoughts from moments that were confidential and moments that are private. So
Yeah.
I think all of my friends would hopefully appreciate that. I'd appreciate that out of my friends when they're giving me advice or when they're challenging me or loving on me, that they don't then go and make that public. And so my dad always used to say, hey, Rich, celebrate in public and then correct in private. And so I'm always trying to trying to lean that way.
Okay, great. Do you have time for one more question, or do you have to go?
Sure. I just got another phone call, but yeah, let's do one more question.
All right, we'll do this quick, and this will prove your legitimacy for our hip hop fans who read the site. What would be on the Rich Wilkerson Jr. playlist for Christian hip hop? If you could give me at least 5 songs, I won't tell you to give me 10 because that's putting you on the spot. But if you could give me 5 songs that would be on your Christian hip hop playlist, working out, driving, doing whatever you're doing, that would be awesome.
You're putting me on the spot for sure.
Sorry.
I don't think I'm going to get everyone. I don't think I'm going to get all the songs right. Is my problem. But I like from Social Club, and these guys are really good friends of mine, so I'm going to probably mess it up. But there's a song I think they have called Police or something like that, you know, like...
Okay.
Like, or the Police Siren, is it Pizza Party that I like? Pizza Party, and it's got sirens in the end, but find out for me.
Okay.
What is, I think I'm not going to be good at this. Isn't there, I think Lecrae has a song that's on my thing right now called Say I Won't with Andy.
Yes, Say I Won't, that's right.
What else do I like? What's the Andy song that I like? I like, Andy has that song, it's like, I'm going to mess it up as well. I don't know the song name. It's like about Wyland or whatever, like,
Oh, Paisanos Wyland?
Yeah. And then I also like, that's a song, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and then,
2 more, you could do it.
I'm trying to think, man. Does he have a, what is the, is it on his new record? What's the whole Uncomfortable? Like, you got a song called Uncomfortable?
Yes, there is a song called Uncomfortable.
But isn't that off the new stuff? Because he played a bunch of new stuff. I like it. I've got some of it. I just listen to stuff when I work out.
Yeah, Uncomfortable is his new record.
And then what about some, let's go with like maybe some like, who's my guy that I've always loved? I'm going to say, let me think. Who's the older rapper that I like so much? From way back in the day. No, way back in the day. I was trying to say someone.
Is it T-Bone?
T-Bone, yeah. Let's put T-Bone on that thing. That would be great. That's what I was looking for.
I love T-Bone.